I don't know of any other street spots.
I can't believe it's been 15 years. That's so crazy to me.
Let's start at the very beginning. Do you remember how you got on Etnies and who approached you and how that all worked out?
Yeah, I remember just being a Grom, just skating around in Orange County. We got a call. We went in there, and Don Brown was looking at me and my brother, and this is the first time I met Don, and right out of the gates, just cracking jokes, making fun of me and my bro's shoes. And I remember he pulled out a pair of scissors and he cut Shane's laces. He cut all Shane's laces and took his shoes off and then handed us a brand new box of shoes. And that was the first free pair of shoes I ever got. And I believe I was 7 years old. And since then, I've never wore a different shoe. I've always worn Etnies.
It was good having him around, just with that energy of just everything's new, everything's great, just where can we skate next?
The one like really consistent thing that he's had through his career is that he's always had people testing him.
But yeah, no, there was definitely bullying, like not bullying, but just kind of like, okay, we kind of got to toughen this kid up. I don't think it was anything like mean, like too mean-spirited.
Oh, I definitely got picked on. I got picked on for sure, but it was all love, you know? It's like, because I knew I was a little annoying little kid, like 8 years old, got a bowl cut, wearing a helmet, skating around.
I never heard him bitching and moaning about anything or whatever. He was just like, all right, I'm just gonna get fucked with now. Like, that's kind of the part of the trip.
Because he's so young, you're just always gonna be that guy who people wanna poke fun at a little bit, and he's always been really good at taking that and turning it into pure desire to do really gnarly tricks to keep people quiet.
I remember seeing Ryan beat Costin at an X Games, like when he was a kid, you know, and I was like, wow, this kid's really good. He's really gnarly, he could fucking rip apart, but it's a whole different thing in the street. And even when he did the back lip and the back Smith, I was like, oh, he can skate, you know, he's good.
I get this phone call and he said, you know, hey, Ryan wants to try to kickflip the Costco gap. You know, can you come down? I'm like, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
You know, and Ricky shows up and we're kind of sitting there and I'm just like, shit, I hope, like, I don't want to see no one get hurt, you know what I mean?
I was nervous for him because obviously it's a huge gap, but then I was nervous for myself because I didn't want to fuck this up. Like, I mean, he's not going to do it again. This is a one-time thing. A lot of people don't realize that the distance that you have to clear on top of going over, you know, a 2.5-foot fence.
I remember just him going for it, and like seeing him go for it first try was just like, it was gnarly.
I think his shoe flew off at one point. I'm not sure if it was the second or third try. And then fourth try, he just nails it. Bolts, like unbelievable.
No hands down, no nothing. He just like, once he caught it, it was just like, and he just set it down and just, you know, he took the impact. And it was like, at that point, I knew this kid was gonna do a lot in skateboarding. How many covers? Of our magazine, he's had 4, and I've shot in 3 of them. And I remember we had to sit on it for a while. So it wasn't like back-to-back covers, you know.
As much as his skating speaks for itself to a certain extent, I think the backstory behind almost every trick that he ever does almost makes it like a second trick in itself. It was in March 2007, and he was on the phone with his agent at the time negotiating this MTV deal that was for, you know, figures that were like astronomical. He was on the phone and he looked out of the window and he saw this rail go past and he just went, oh shit, I gotta go. Pull the van over, I'm gonna backlip that rail right now. And he hung the phone up and jumped out of the car. No warm up and jumped straight down it and backlipped it before anyone had even got out of the van. It was really crazy. He's got that sort of like really successful person mindset of not like, why should I do this? It's like, why not? He's actually a really difficult person to take photos of. He doesn't want to wait at all. He wants to just do it.
How about the day at Buster Bill. Was that one of the greatest days of your life?
That was the greatest day of my life.
I wasn't even really planning on skating that day because me and P-Rod had quite a wild night the night before, breaking some glass, and my whole hand was just jacked, man, all the way to the bone. And I remember waking up in the morning and like tipping my hand in hydrogen peroxide, and I'm like looking at P-Rod as I'm wrapping it up, and he's like, we're gonna go to that Buster Bail contest. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool, I'll go check it out. Okay, so we get there, and I try a kickflip. It takes me a couple tries, and then I landed it, and then I wanted really bad, I wanted to backside flip that thing real bad. That worked out in like 4 tries, which blew me away. I was like, oh, wow, okay, so I can skate this thing.
I talk about it, and people are there like, yeah, whatever, Sheckler. I was like, fuck, dude, did you know what he did? 1 hard flip, 2 go. Hard flip, 3 flip, backside flip, back flip to fakes, back flip. I mean, remember you asked me, what I gotta do? And I was like, the rail.
Yeah.
The rail. Like, nobody got the rail.
And I was just like, whoa, I'm having a session right now. It just worked.
The first international trip I went on with Ryan, he boardside this rail in Sydney because he was a little kid and the rail's high, so he just like boardside would be kind of the only thing you could do on it.
Fucking flying, mate.
You know, fast forward 10, 12 years or whatever, I was on a trip with him in Australia. I think it's the second day that we ended up back at that spot. You know, and Ryan's turned into a full-on beast now. He has the power and everything, so he's just like straight away out of the van, 3 backflips in a row, just that's when it all came to me. It's like, man, I was here with Ryan when he was just a tiny little kid and he boardsid this, and now he's just backflipping it every try as a warm-up trick.
So all the stuff he does is so gnarly that you can't do that because someone wants you to. The like energy to do that doesn't come from money. It doesn't, you know, it's like just it has to come from you. It has to come from really wanting to do it.
You're not gonna try to backflip a rail with a broken foot for a paycheck when you already minted. Like that's you're just not.
You know, everyone's family is really important to them, for sure, but his is especially important to him. I've definitely seen him go well out of his way for his brothers or his mum and his dad. He's definitely really loyal at heart. So it doesn't really surprise me that he's been with Etnies for 15 years.
And he's just starting. His career is amazing, you know. I mean, that tells a lot about someone that they can stay dedicated and stay focused on one brand.
It's like a family. It is a family. I've been there, you know. I've been on Etnies longer than my little brother's been alive. It's crazy. I really like being hands-on with the whole shoe designing process because I have to wear them all day, you know. So I don't know. I just feel like they give me so much freedom to do what I want to do, and it's a hard thing to get, man. I've lived my life in Etnies. I'm very thankful and very blessed to be where I'm at today and to have the creative control that I do have at Etnies. And, you know, Pierre's obviously gave me a chance a long time ago, and it's still working out. So I'm very thankful for being on Etnies this long.